Hi friends, in this one we're going to check the convergence of this series. 1 minus 1/3 plus 1 over 3 squared minus ellipses plus and then that term and then plus dot dot dot. So let's go through that process. It's going to look like the following. First, let's just write this in summation notation. So it's going to go, and it goes from 1 to positive infinity, and then it's going to be here that negative 1 raised to the n plus 1 and then 3 to the n minus 1. Done. Now we just want to, for example, observe that there's a negative 1. That means it's very likely an alternating series. So apply the following. Identify a sub n. In this context, that would be 1 over 3 raised to the n minus 1. From here, check this limit. So the limit as n approaches positive infinity of 1 over 3 raised to the n minus 1. Well, that's equal to 0 because the bottom becomes infinite. So that means when you divide, you end up with 0. We also just want to check that it's decreasing, so you're going to write the following. 1 divided by 3 raised to the n minus 1. And you want to check, is this greater than the one that looks like this? 1 over 3 raised to the n plus 1 minus 1. So on the left-hand side, you have the following. 1 over 3 to the n minus 1. On the right-hand side, you have 1 over, now it's going to be the 3 to the n plus 1 minus 1. So subtract the 1 positive and the 1 negative, and you have 3 raised to the n. Well, this is true. It's true because on the left-hand side, for a particular n that you input, the bottom is smaller, which means that the ratio is bigger. So this is true. In other words, what it's telling you is that a sub n, like this, decreases. Therefore, what you can conclude is the following about this whole thing. It's convergent by the AST, the alternating series test. If you have trouble understanding why this is true right here, well, sometimes what you can do is the following. Take a look. Let me show you. You can go with 1 over 3 raised to the n minus 1 greater than 1 over 3 raised to the n. It may not be obvious that this is true. So in that particular case, just multiply, for example, both sides by 3 to the n to see what happens. But before you do that, you got to break up the denominator. So it's going to be 3 to the n, for example, and then here it's going to be 3 raised to the negative first, greater than 1 over 3 to the n. We're asking, is that true or not? Now, if you multiply both sides by 3 to the n, remember that n is a positive number, 3 to the n is a positive number. It isn't like, for example, some kind of switch in the inequality symbol. You're going to have 1 over 3 raised to the negative first. Is that greater than 1? Well, 1 divided by 3 to the negative first is like 1 divided by 1/3, which is 3 once you flip it. And 3 is greater than 1 is clearly true, you see? That's it. So if it's been helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you in another video.